Nation. I'm gonna skip the intro and all the rest of that tonight. I'm gonna jump right into it. Look. It happened to Baker. It happened to Kyler. It happened to a bunch of us, right? So it is what it is. Okay, we're gonna have some Texas trolls in here tonight. I'm sure that we'll have some in the comments at some point or whatever the case may be when you guys see this video. Rightfully so. Um, Saturday, Chris Mason was probably the worst performance that we've seen quite some time, especially from this team recently. There was a bunch of good in that game, especially at first half, but things kind of went down the drain. We'll talk about that at some point. If not, then we'll just move on. We got a lot of season left, people, and we got a bunch of games, big games on the schedule to go and do what we need to do to go to where we're at. I mean, where we're trying to go. So that being said, you already know what's happening here. We are doing a recruiting podcast. So, Chris Mason, how you doing?
I am doing all right after a frustrating Saturday. But
Yeah, yeah.
we are talking recruiting. We're not going to talk the Texas game. We're talking recruiting, and I can be as positive about that as I need to be. So,
Yeah, looks like we picked up a recruit already. I think Jacob Curry, right? That's the name, right?
that is the name. Let me give you some Jacob Curry details while folks enter the room.
Go
John,
ahead.
the after game reaction is a victim of the aftermath of the game. So, when Thursday, we'll give you some after game stuff, but not
Yeah,
tonight. Not tonight.
some of us was turned up a little bit too in Dallas, so
So,
I ain't gonna lie
let me
to you.
say, I was ready to talk about the game on Sunday. My compatriots were somewhat missing in action. All right, so let's talk Jacob Curry. So Jacob is a 6'1", 208-pound linebacker from the Miami, Florida area. He plays at a high school called Nice. OU actually just offered his teammate today a 2027 safety. Curry was committed to Northwestern, and he was a 3-star ranked like in the 700 range. So when that offer first went out, there was a whole barrage of 3-star U, what are we doing, blah, 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 blah. All right. After OU went in with an offer, the rest of the college football world saw Curry's tape. And he received a bunch of good offers to the point that after he decommitted from Northwestern, he was pretty much down to a Final Four of Florida State, Miami, and Ohio State. Also, rivals re-ranked him in the top 300 as a 4-star linebacker. An interesting note that OU Insider posted on Twitter is that Nate Dreiling actually offered Curry, it looks like 2 years ago when he was at New Mexico. Maybe it's New Mexico State. I don't have Dreiling's resume in front of me. But he offered him 2 years ago. So Dreiling, again. So first off, Nate Dreiling has now landed 200% more linebackers than Zach Alley did in 1 year. So from a recruiting standpoint, Nate Dreiling got us Ja'Cory Smith and got us Jacob Curry. The Jandro guys, I think, were kind of a pre-Dreiling thing, to be honest. But his first game after verbaling to OU this week on this, I think, Friday night. The information's on Twitter and on Huddle, but I'll recap the stats that were posted. So Chrissy had 15 tackles, 4 sacks, 5 tackles for a loss, 1 pass deflection, and 3 QB hurries.
Hmm.
That sounds like a linebacker I'd want to sign.
Yeah.
So he has great senior film so far. He's a will linebacker, although he could play cheetah as well. He was timed at 4.5 laser at camp this summer, the Under Armour camp. He's 6'1". He has a long, lean frame. He can easily move. He's got a big wingspan for being 6'1". He can easily move into the 225, 230 range. That puts him at will linebacker, in my opinion. Josh from Sooner Scoop compared him to Kip Lewis. That's not a bad comparison. The kid is all over the field making plays. He's very comfortable in space. 247's review of him was talking about a game his senior year where he was basically guarding a top 100 wide receiver in coverage for most of the game. Looked comfortable doing it. He's very comfortable on space. He's very physical. His range sideline to sideline is excellent. He's showing a good blitzing game, understanding of how to blitz, getting disappearing and then blasting through in the holes created in the blitzing alley designed. I love this as a pickup, and that's not just because he's an OU verbal. If you've been on my pod, on these pods, on my Patreon site, I've been talking up Jacob Curry since OU offered him and before he got reevaluated by rivals and before the other offers came in. I love Ja'Cory Smith at linebacker. I love Jacob Curry at linebacker. Chris, I'm starting to get a little worried about Bo Jandro. He's not played this year. He didn't play all of last year.
What did he injure?
That I don't know. Hey, Sooner Cowboys, we're recruiting chatting. Shove your thoughts about where our quarterback, who our coach should be for a different podcast, all right? For a different live stream. We're talking recruiting.
Let him sulk. He'll be
right.
okay. Let him do what he does.
All right.
He's just happy he's alive right now. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Well, Chris is nicer than me, but anyway. I don't know what the injury was last year, and I don't know what the injury is this year. I just know he has no stats. He has not participated. And I'm going to say I'm a little worried about that. I think OU should be looking for another Mike linebacker in this class.
Interesting. I'm curious. What did he injure? I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, why has he not played this year?
I'm a little worried. Okay, Quentin, go get lost.
Quentin, hey, Quentin, I'm a DM you. You know what's crazy is Quentin talks all this noise, and Quentin is he's in Edmond. That boy is in Edmond, Oklahoma.
Give me a freaking break.
To his crib tonight.
Oh, give me a freaking break. But all right.
Don't worry about
But I don't know why he's injured, but the kid throws himself around like a heat-seeking missile. But he's not a big frame kid. He's 6 foot, 215 pounds. So I don't know where we are. I don't know where we are with that. I'm just concerned that we need a Mike linebacker in the class, and our Mike linebacker has played no reps this year and only played half a season as a junior. That at this point, that's kind of a red flag for me, and I'd be looking at another Mike linebacker.
Are you super worried about that right now, assuming that Marcus James is he going to be more of an outside linebacker, or do you think he could be a Mike?
I think James Nesta and Marcus James have the size to be Mike linebackers. So a little less worried about that from that aspect, although, I do. And 2027, presuming the coaching staff is still here, is looking good linebacker recruiting-wise. There's lots of targets. OU's on a good group of targets, and you could pick up, I think you could easily find a Mike linebacker in that class.
Interesting.
So I have a 2027 Mike linebacker I really like from Florida called Noah Raines, who is starting to pick up big-time offers, and folks are starting to realize that he's a serious thumping middle linebacker. He's like 6'3", 230 already. And he visited for the Michigan game. But Chris, I'm just being honest out there that from a recruiting standpoint, a little worried what's going on with Bo Jandro at Mike linebacker. I'd like to see another Mike added in the class. Because as we seeing, like, you need to have an internship at linebacker to play linebacker for Brent, right? we can't play a true freshman Mike linebacker,
No.
right? You gotta be a second or third year player to start at Mike, and we've got some time to develop James and Nesta
Yeah.
with Samo and Kobe all having years left to play, but you know
Heineke too.
and Heineke. So you got guys, but I would like to see another Mike linebacker in the class because you did undersign for the last 2 years, really.
Yeah.
So that's the only issue there. For 2026, Daniel McMorris, he's visiting, the offensive tackle from Norman North. He's visiting for Ole Miss and then deciding on Halloween. UCLA decommit Johnny Jones isn't visiting OU. Maybe that's connected to McMorris. Maybe it's not. Milan Paris did visit for the Kent State game. He still has visits planned for Miami and Oregon. There are some folks out there, mainly on 247, who think OU might be the leader there. As of 9 o'clock Eastern time on Monday, Jaden Petit is still a Wisco commit. Davion Gross is still a UF commit. But I would have to say for 2026, Penn State obviously is losing commits left and right, including Tavion Bryant, who decommitted from Rutgers and then now is decommitted from Penn State. And he's received like 4 offers today. So I don't know if OU takes another swing at him. Other than Tavion Bryant, though, I don't see a lot of names connected to Penn State who have connections to OU. There's not there. Now, Chris, it looks like it could be a carnage season for coaching firings. Like, we could see changes at Wisconsin, UF, and Auburn.
I heard Pate say that it's going to be some big. It's some that are not even on the radar right now. Some jobs are not even on the radar right now that are massive. He was like that are going to demand pretty much the entire market whenever it opens up.
Is Sharon Moore in trouble if Michigan doesn't have a good second half of the season?
You know what? I don't think so.
Neither do I, but they're recruiting really well. But
they're recruiting really well. All the suspensions, all the rest of that stuff, they've been able to weather the storm. I think a lot of people had them. I don't think anybody had them going, winning 10 games this year, maybe 9-3 at the best. But you just kind of have to see: do they go in there and do they beat Ohio State once again? I mean, they got them at home. They got a lot of good games left or whatnot, and it's a little bit different. Still working in that true freshman, but I think he's still fine.
Okay, could you put up Topher B's comment?
Yeah.
Yeah, Topher, that's a. I've seen that floating around message boards. That's a new name for me, so I don't have a lot of background on Rogers. I'll have more information next week.
What's his position?
He's a wide receiver. He seems like he's a slot guy. But I don't know anything about him in terms of that. It's a name that's new to me. It's a name I did not have connected with OU. But I will look into Rogers next week. I'll have an update for you guys.
So,
but if Wisco's going to fire Fickle. He's a dead man walking. UF is, I think, UF and Auburn are both, I think, teetering right there on the edge. Maybe Freeze will get some latitude because of his fan base will perceive as referee screwing. I'd be more mad over the Georgia game than I would the OU game if I was Auburn fans, to be honest. Yeah. That stuff was bizarre on Saturday night, really was. So I think those decommits. But the other thing also, Chris, is that the Penn State job is a big enough job that if they take an experienced veteran head ball coach from somebody, we could start seeing a ripple effect. Right? So let's just say I talked to some folks who think it's going to be Matt Rule at Nebraska. He's going to jump ship.
For Penn State?
That's what I heard.
That just makes no sense to me.
He's an alum, I think. So there's all kinds of stuff there. Who knows? Um, you know that's what. So if that makes the Nebraska job open, right? And then if UF opens up, and let's just say the Lane train moves his express to Gainesville, that would open up Ole Miss. If Auburn fires Freeze and they go out and get someone like, and I'm going to throw a random name out there that doesn't probably make any sense, but maybe they get Summerall.
Yeah.
It's all of a sudden you could just start seeing just lots of collisions and other kinds of stuff, and depending upon who's going where and what. I mean, UCLA still needs to hire a coach. We're not sure how serious they're going to take that endeavor. So, but anyway, we could see OU maybe grabbing McMorris. They would probably take Milan Paris if he wants to commit. But I could see OU sitting back and waiting. Topher B saying what I'm hearing is that the AD is a good friend and he's also an alum. So I don't know. We'll see. Temple's sort of from that part of the country as well. So
True.
So
There you go. That's the
the
connection.
that's the connection there. So that could be it. From that perspective, so that's what's going on there. 2027, nothing really new there. The only thing is that there's no update at quarterback, Chris, and that's starting to get strange at this point. OU should at least make a couple offers
Yeah.
or re-engage with some kids. So it makes me wonder if OU thinks they can flip Peyton Houston. And I think I mentioned that last week, but every week I don't see any activity, the more that becomes a suspicion of mine.
I think it's one of those things where you kind of just have to, you do have to just be a tad bit more patient. Let some of this stuff, guys in the comments, relax. Okay. This is just a recruiting pod, but at the same time, we've been here before. It's happened to Baker. It's happened to Kyler. It's happened to a number of times throughout the years. And guess what? We still went to where we wanted to go. So just relax. But Chris Mason, I think same thing applies here, where we have to just kind of let the season just develop a little bit. Come
Yep.
back towards the Tennessee game. And I think that's whenever we can actually have some real conversations about what's going on, because then it's not getting any easier on the schedule for us and for a whole bunch of other people as well.
Yeah.
What's their name? South Carolina. Hell, they're in the gauntlet, right? So that's a game that's a
Oh,
must.
I think Beamer could jump to Va-Tech before he's canned by South Carolina.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be
They could
surprised
go.
if that's work in progress. Yeah,
They're 4-8 seasons staring them right in the face.
yeah.
Topher, I don't know Dane Weber QB at 2027. Give me some more context on that name. He's a quarterback from California, apparently.
Interesting.
All right. Do we have some mid-year film? He apparently played our cornerback. Yeah, we got mid-season film. All right, I'll fire this mid-season film up in the background. Stop watching the Falcons beating up on the Bills. So he's from California. 6'1", 210 pounds. It's a new name for me. I don't think I've seen him in the top QB list. That doesn't mean anything. Bo Bentley kind of came out of nowhere, so that's entirely possible.
Yeah.
He's played Derek Johnson's team, so maybe that's what's going on there in terms of the film. Yeah, he's running for his life, so he's used to no offensive line in his first highlight. Makes a good play. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I mean, I think we could see a surprise name like Bo Bentley was kind of a surprise name, to be honest. He looks pretty good throwing the ball so far. And Stacey Ford obviously has Cali connections, so if he's a little bit under the radar, with his folks in California telling him he's a player, I don't have a problem with that.
So speaking of the 27 class, it seems like that's where we're making a lot of movement right now. And Before and after this last game, I mean, people, you got to realize, man, OU is hitting on all cylinders right now in recruiting simply because you're picking up late 26 commits, you're picking up 27 and commits, and you're picking up, you're handing out offers, but also you're getting a lot of interest from 28
Yeah.
kids as well. So, I mean, I think all three, you couldn't be any happier right now with all three of the recruiting classes or those recruiting cycles, excuse me, just the activity that's going on per se. Yeah. And
Yeah.
sorry, people. There's no pain in my voice right now. This is just me trying to, recuperate. I am 33 years old, 33 years young. You know what I'm saying? But I do get down when I'm in Texas. What's up?
um,
Go ahead, Chris.
yeah. So for 2028, OU's made two offers. Um, they offered Connor Arendt from Bixby. He's 6'6", 225. Looks like a tight end. Looks pretty good on film. Very physical. He can block. He's also looks like a good receiver. Long, lean frame. Would hopefully could be something OU could do down the road. They also offered Jelani George from the Phoenix area. He's a defensive end, 6'5", 245. According to 247, Chris, he's the number 2 player in the nation for 2028. And according to my sources, he loves OU and loved the OU offer and is trying to get out to Norman and loves what OU's doing at defensive end. So we'll see. But that's really where recruiting is right now. It's going to be a little light recruiting noise-wise because the South Carolina game coming up is the second week in a row where OU can't bring people in.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we're on the road. We can't invite people to South Carolina. We couldn't invite players to Texas. It was Texas's turn because, OU was in whites. It was Texas home game. But for the Ole Miss game, I think you'll see OU bring in a host of visitors, especially unofficials for 2027 and 2028.
Yeah.
And obviously they'll have one official visitor. Maybe they'll have another official. I didn't expect Milan Paris to come in. OU will continue to be monitoring stuff from that level. But, in terms of that, this is where we are in terms of and recruiting news right now. There's just not a lot out there. Jacob Curry is the biggest news, and like I said, I really love his film. I like what he's doing. This Dane Weber kid looks pretty good. Need to look at his junior film, then look at his senior film, see what progress has been made. He looks pretty mobile. Looks like he's got a pretty active arm. I don't know anything about him other than that. So. Can you put up Freelance Society, who's actually asking a recruit question? The only OU target I know that was at the Red River game that where an interview has been said is Jason Witten's kid, Cooper Witten.
Mm.
And he said both teams looked really good on defense, and he enjoyed the environment.
Always a good time at the Cotton Bowl, man.
So he didn't have anything more to say other than that. So,
yeah.
And it appears Texas is trailing OU, A&M, and Tennessee in that race. Maybe they'll jump to the front, but it's OU fans kind of okay, people, bodyguard. Everybody can go to Texas. That's fine. The impact of the OU Texas game. Recruiting wise, Chris, I just don't think it's as big as we want as fans want to make it out.
They're just getting their jokes in right now, and that's
perfect. Well, I just mean, if you're an OU fan worried about it, I really wouldn't worry about it. It's just not.
As soon as Cowboys he's
it's just not that. It's just not that big a deal in terms of what goes on. Occasionally, it'll have an impact on a recruit like Adrian Peterson and the defensive end kid in 22 who bailed on us, who isn't starting for Texas. The guy from Austin, the defensive end who's flopped from us back to Texas. He was a Texas legacy, so
I got you.
Not a big surprise there. But other than that, OU is still making offers, still evaluating kids. Nagy is obviously, and his staff are still making offers for 27 and 28. One of the 20, I made the I put out a 2027 class commitment last week on my Patreon site, just for the hell of it. And the reason why you should not do that ahead of time is because guys are going to commit elsewhere, and they did. So Elijah Patman, the defensive tackle I referenced in it, went ahead and committed to A&M. A&M obviously is on a hot string right now with their strong start to their season. They're doing well recruiting wise, so he went ahead and committed to them. Doesn't mean he'll stick with them, but that's one of the defensive tackles OU was targeting. So OU's down two defensive tackles off the board for 2027, Jalen Brewster and Elijah Patman. So happens. OU will have to ID more guys at defensive tackle, and hopefully they can make a move on Brewster later.
And they will. That's we're gonna keep the hope. But people, look, that's all that we have for recruiting tonight. Biggest thing is, again, just relax. It is what it is. We've been here before. How many times I got to say it?
Hey, Drew England, Colton Vasek's the name. Yeah. I have forgotten for good reasons because he's not doing shit at Texas. But at least I didn't notice him on Saturday. Maybe he was out there. I don't know.
But with that being said, Chris Basie, we're gonna end it there.
Yeah, okay. Later, Ed.
Baker had it happened to Baker. It's happened to Kyler. It's happened to us again. It is what it is. We will be back, people. Trust me, Texas fans. We will have the last